This time on Building the Exocet, you guys get to watch a complete novice try to powder coat some car parts. Alright, got the first batch of parts back from the sandblaster. I was going to do it myself, some of it, but it just took way too long. Basically, I don't have the subframe control arms, things like that here, but I got the entire rear end of the car sandblasted. Bill was $100 cash. Guy's also going to do my frame and do the front end of the car as well for me. The subframe and the 4 control arms right now are at the powder coater. It's about a week to 2 weeks. Color I'm going to be using, actually I have some samples over here. Color I will be using for powder coat is going to be Prismatic Powders King Sport Gray. Here's a sample piece that I have done. Pretty cool looking dark gray with a heavy metallic in it. And then the body color I'm going to use is this here. I think it's RAL 5002 Ultramarine Blue is the name. So it's just a quick one I painted up. So that's what we're going for the final look for the car. I finally decided on those. Okay, here's my powder booth. As you can see, I got a furnace filter here. There's a box fan on the other side of that to draw the excess powder and dust and everything through that. First part I'm going to do, I'm going to just kind of show you my process. By no means should you follow what I'm doing because there's a good chance it is not right. So I'm just showing you how I'm doing it, not necessarily the right way to do it. If I'm doing it wrong or you got some tips for me, please leave them down in the comments below. They would be greatly appreciated. So rear tie bar here, it is all sandblasted. After the part was sandblasted, went in the oven for half an hour at 450 degrees, basically to just bake off any oils or greases that may come out of the piece that would ruin adhesion for the powder coating process. Then after that was cooled down, it was wiped down about a half hour ago with a denatured alcohol rub just to get any remaining residues, and I let that flash off for about 30 minutes. Then I just got done taking my air sprayer here and basically spraying any leftover lint or dust off of the piece. So now we're going to get to the part. I got the King Sport Gray loaded up here in my Eastwood dual voltage powder coat gun. I'm going to start fogging some powder coat on the part. Okay, so that is final. As you can see, a nice even coat, it appears, of powder on the piece. Now it is ready to go into the oven at 400 degrees. My powder coater gave me some tips. He's a pretty nice guy, helping out a dummy like me on it, even though he didn't need to. He sprayed this color several times on some frame rails and other parts, and he said, do a coat 400 degrees just until it starts to melt out the powder. You'll see when the powder stops looking like powder and goes to basically just liquid. As soon as that just gelling starts, pull the part out, let it cool, and then just fog a real light coat on the #1 setting on the Eastwood gun here, the 15 kilowatt setting, and just fog one on, then put it back in the oven, let it fully cure out, and that will give the best finish and film thickness and a little bit better durability for the part. So time to put this in the oven. So just because you put the part in the oven does not mean that it is 12 minutes at 400 degrees. It doesn't mean, it doesn't mean it's 12 minutes in the oven. It means it is 12 minutes once the part reaches 400 degrees. So you need an infrared thermometer in order to take the temperature of the part to see the actual temperature to know when your cure time begins. So as you can see here, it's only been a couple minutes. The part is still only at 225 degrees. That means we have a little bit more to go. It still hasn't gelled out, so we got to leave it in the oven and wait a little bit longer until we get the part to gel out. Then it's time to put it back in the booth, let it cool, and fog the second coat on. You can see the part has gelled out. It's starting to get a gloss to it. Time to pull it from the oven, let it cool down. A couple minutes out of the oven here. Part is still hot. I'd say it's right about the 100-degree point, so just about ready to start shooting the second coat, which will be a fog coat over this part. Okay, second coat. The fog coat's done here. Light amount on there. Time to get her up and get her back in the oven. Part right now is at about 315 degrees. That does not mean that it's time to start counting the cure out. What that means is it's time to keep monitoring it until it hits that 400 degrees. Once it hits that 400 degrees or really close to there, then it's time to start my timer. My timer will be set for 12 minutes, as that is the appropriate cure time according to prismatic powders. Part a little bit ago just hit 400 degrees. So I started my timer. I will every few minutes come out just to monitor the temperature with the infrared thermometer, just to make sure it's not getting too hot or too cool. If it gets a little too hot, then I try to lower it down and maybe slightly shorten the bake time. But really, I haven't seen any issues with slightly over baking it at a little higher temperature. I haven't seen that cause any major appearance effects on the parts I've done so far. Okay, timer's going off. Means we are done with the curing. Look at that, 399 degrees. Wonderful. Now it's time to pull the part from the oven and begin the cool down. Okay, so it's been about 10-15 minutes now. The part is now cooled down to the point where I can pick it up. Take it over into some of the lighting here, and you can see the finish on the part. Pretty doggone good, I think, for a complete newbie at it. Really digging this color. So now I'm going to go ahead and this power plant frame is not going to be powder coated, it's just going to be painted. Back diff cover, I think I'm going to paint the blue, or powder coat the blue of the body. Sway bar is going to be silver black as well. The knuckles there are going to be powder coated the gray color. So going to be a couple weeks till I get the rest of the powder coat back from the powder coater, or rest of the pieces back from the powder coater. So probably won't have many updates for a while. Once those are done, then I'm going to be showing you guys how to install some bushings. So until then, thanks for watching. If you like my stuff, please subscribe below. It gives me the motivation to keep going on these.